A Christmas Eve, a silent night, a restless wind blows through my world tonight.
Good afternoon everyone, welcome back to
Hope
JMC Creates.
would
My name
fill
is
the
Jackie McKissick and
skies
today I am going to
if
show
I
you the
saw
cards I made with the
Christmas through a
Hunkydory Winter
child's
Wishes Luxury
eyes.
Topper collection. And I think it was 32 that I counted. So, right, for this one we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this Merry Christmas die is from my stash. I've cut it out 3 times. I put the little robin, I cut it out with a die and then give it a layer. And this glitter card, of course, is from my stash. Okay, silver card from my stash. This is one of the papers that you get in the magazine. This is the magazine, and because I bought the complete bundle, I got the magazine free. So I did. And it is, you get, I think, right, you get 1, and you can cut the toppers in that. You get 2 in that. You get 3 in that. 4, and then 5, 6, 7 papers. And there was another one that I've used. So anyway, right, so that's one of the papers from the magazine, and this is a strip that comes with this. No, it comes in a different one. So I've just done it 3 times and then taken a strip of this, of the card that came with the kit, and put it across the middle and added my gems and my little topper and sentiment. For this one, this green card, of course, is from my stash, as is the red, as is the bow, as is the die. And that's all I did, was cut out this die. It's cut out twice. I've added a bow. This is my sentiment and the beautiful robins. So the cards is, this is an A5 card. And this is the silver from my stash. This is one of the card that you get with the kit. And I've cut out a die on a piece of the paper from the magazine, and it's just framing the top and the bottom of that. I have my outer frame on foam tape, my inner frame flat, my topper is double foam tape, and then I've just added my greeting and a little robin, and they're level, and then added some gems from my stash. This is another A5 card. This is a piece of the card from the kit, and I've put the frame on foam tape. I've cut out this tattered lace die, which is actually sitting here, so I could show you. You get this, and this is the rectangle, and you get squares and circles. So I've cut it out from one of the papers in the magazine, and I've left the inner frame attached and popped it up on foam tape. Then my little sentiment and a couple of strips of the gems from my stash. These gems, I've told you before, come from Hunkydory. No, come from the pound shop. They come like this, and all I do is cut them up as needed. So I think there's 7 of these cards. So, gold from my stash, blue from my stash, winter wonderland from my stash, gems from my stash, white card embossed, and then the little topper on, and a couple of strips of gems to match. Right. This is an example how you can take something small and supersize it. Okay, the card from the kit, the rest of the papers are from my stash. This is a Stampin' Up die wreath, and this is a Crafter's Companion inverted circle, and this Happy Christmas is from my stash, and I've added gems. So this one is similar, except the topper is bigger, and I've put sparkle pen on my, I don't know if you can see it, I've put sparkle pen on my sentiment and added gems. Okay, this is one of the little toppers, and I've cut out this frame die in a lilac foil card. I've added a little bit of embossed white card on it, and then my topper. This card comes with this pattern all the way in the diagonal, so I've added gems in silver and purple to match in the same diagonal fashion. So this one is a 6x6, sorry, those 3 are A6. Sorry about that, folks. It is. My friend came to the door, so she did. So this card, I took the frame and twisted it, foam tape, flat and double foam tape. This is a little Alina Cuttle die that I use frequently. This is a bit of the card. This is the edge bit, and I've added a couple of banners and a frame for that one. That one was slimline. This one's an A5. This is a big Sweet Dixie die that I'd forgot I had, and when I was looking through my things I found it. So my outer frame is flat and my inner 2 frames are double foam tape. I've followed the line of the card and added gold and silver, because this is silver but this looks goldy, and added some snowflakes and gems from my stash. Right, the next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, I got 5 cards. Now this is from one topper sheet, one A4 topper sheet and 2 A4 card backgrounds. So this is an A5 and this is the card from the kit. I have my outer frame on foam tape. This is the oval die, and I've cut it out of the green paper from the magazine, and then popped this one up, followed the diagonal again and added my sentiment. There, this is another A5, and I've taken the strip and I've added it on foam tape onto the card from the kit. Silver card from my stash. This outer bit is one of the papers from the magazine, then this frame is on foam tape, the inner one is flat, the double one The front one is double, and then I've added my greeting and a little topper and some gems. This is one of the sides of the card kit, and on this one I actually got two. So I've already showed you that one, have I? Yes, I have. Yes, I've already showed you those ones. Sorry, I'm getting confused here. I'm getting befuddled. Okay, so this one I actually got 6 from, and this is the side of the card. This is my banner dies, and I've put them up. I've added gems along the line, and my sentiment and some stars. This is an A6 card, some black glitter card from my stash. This card here is actually from my stash, and I've cut my frame out and added red in the middle. I've added my topper on foam tape, and I've added 2 strips of gems, and then my sentiment going across. This is another bit. There was actually 2 on each side of the card. There was these, what do you call them, men? They're queens. I can't remember. Anyway, so I've added black glitter cards from my stash. The gems are following in the line up there, and I've added a 'Tis the Season that's layered 3 times from my stash. So this is a slimline card, and this die is actually from AliExpress, I think. And this is a bit of the card. And my topper, I followed the line with the gems and added my Merry Christmas. So that was a slimline. This is an A5. So I've added the tattered lace die in red foil card from my stash, and I've done the outer frame on foam tape, the inner frame flat, and the topper double foam tape. I followed the line of the diagonal again and added my Christmas wishes for my stash. And this is also an A5, so I've added the strip from the topper sheet to follow this line, only I've put it on foam tape. This is a corner die from my stash. I actually cut 2 and I left 1. So my outer frame is on foam tape, and this one here is on double foam tape, and this is pushed down flat into the centre, and then I have my sentiment. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that belongs to there. So I think I've got 4 with this one. This is a little A6 card, and this is a decoupage sheet. I have lots of dimension on there. I've cut, this is a Spellbinder's die, and I've cut the frame, and then the inner bit comes separate, and I've foam taped it and my gems to follow the line. So this is actually the outer piece of this. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4 dies. Actually you get 6 probably in the set. So I've put it on some craft cards from my stash, and it's on foam tape, and then this here is on another layer of foam tape. I've added my sentiment, and I framed it with the craft card and added some stars from my stash. This was a strip of the paper that I had, and I framed it with craft card, and then with my gems in silver. And these gems, I actually take them, and there's glue still in here, and I took my extra fine glitter and I poured it on and rubbed it in, and it takes care of the extra glue so nothing else can stick to it. This is a Spellbinder's die too. This is the decoupage, and the Winter Wishes is from my stash, and as usual it's cut out 3 times. This is the edge piece on craft card, gems down the side to follow the line already there, the little Elena Cuttle die, and my sentiment. Next on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the edge piece from the piece of card, and I've added my gems to follow the line that's already there, and Warm Wishes from my stash, and I cut the shadow out of the red glitter card and added it on white. This was one of the last bits I had, and I actually turned it into a card. So this is an A6 card, and it has the gems to follow the line of the pattern already there. This is a Sue Wilson die and the frame die, and then I've just cut an oval, and I've cut the small piece of the oval tattered lace die that I use frequently, and added some stars. On this one, this is a Spellbinder's die. This is the outer bit, and it cuts into the card and it doesn't, so I've cut it out with my guillotine or my trimmer. I've added the inside piece on foam tape, and then this little bit here is on foam tape, and my topper is flat, and this is just a little Spellbinder's die. This is that big Sweet Dixie die that I've used before. My gems are once again following the line of the pattern. This is on foam tape. This is flat on top of this. This little bit here is attached to the topper, which is on foam tape. And then my little sentiment, and this is, I can't remember where this little die comes from. And finally, this is another Sweet Dixie die. This is actually a Christmas one. This represents trees. So I have put my outer frame flat onto my glitter card, which is flat onto the base card. Then I've added that to this here. They're flat, but then they're both topped up then. And this is my little sentiment, and I cut an oval to frame it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So another A5 card, and another of the tattered lace die that I use most of. I use the rectangles, the squares and the circles mostly, but there are ovals as well. So this is actually a piece of the card, and it was too broad to do my usual slimline, so I cut it out with a stitched die from tattered lace and put it on my tattered lace frame. green gems, my gems to follow the line of the pattern. Merry Christmas from my stash. This is a 6x6 card. These glitter card is from my stash, and then this is a piece of the kit card that I've cut with the same curved square dies. My frame is on flat. Then I've added another one of these in behind the topper, and I actually used one of the dies to cut the topper to match. This is a little tonic die. Oops, no, not upside down. So, I've used some blue card this time, blue and red, to accent those. This is a piece of the card with the gems matching the pattern. This is a Sue Wilson die. This is a tonic die. This is a tarred lace stitch square. My topper is on top, and I've added a Let It Snow from my stash with some stars. This is a Sue Wilson die, and it's a large one, and I cut it out. I made my card base out of it, and then I put another one on top so that I would have the stitching the whole way round. I've added this little holly from my stash, my gems and my stars, foam tape, flat, double foam tape, add on your sentiment. Oops, don't fall. There's too many, they keep falling. And finally, this is the same leaf frame die that I used. The card is from the stash, a little bit of red. No, the card is from the kit, the red is from my stash. This is a tonic scallops rectangle. This is a Sweet Dixie, and I've cut it in red, added the blue and my sentiment, and my topper is on foam tape. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 5. That belongs to that one. So this is the strip of the card, and I simply put glitter on the tree and on the snow round their hooves. I've added a deer Santa from my stash that is layered 3 times, and my stars. Then I went funky with this one and did pink, because I thought this bit here was pink, but it looks red now that I've got pink on. But this is a Sue Wilson die that just embosses the edge. This is some white card with a snowflake embossing folder. This is a Sue Wilson die. My frame is flat. My inner frame is on foam tape, and my topper is flat. And I've added Merry Christmas from my stash. And as usual, they are layered 3 times. So, this is a Spellbinder's die. I've put my gems to follow the diagonal, and my outer frame is flat, my inner frame is on foam tape, and my topper is flat, and I've added some stars. I've used this square cut out die, cut the outer from red from my stash, and then the inner one from the card in the kit, and this is a little die that I got in a magazine, I think. I've ran gems on each side of the line, I've cut my topper out with the same one and added a glitter, some red gems from my stash, and that was it. That was 6 by 6. This is A5. Silver and red from my stash. This is the die that I made the shaped card with from Sue Wilson. And then this is the inner bit, and the white is behind it, and this is on foam tape, and then my topper is on foam tape again. I followed the line of my sentiment with my gems and added my red stars. And finally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, an A5 card with some red gems on top of the card from the kit. This is a tonic Have a Merry Christmas die. I've cut these are dies from Amazon that follow this kind of shape, and I've cut one, added the next size on red and popped them both up. Then I've popped my frame up again. My sentiment is flat in with the same little holly die. This is a 5 by 7 card. This card here is from my stash, as is the green and the silver. This is a Sue Wilson die, and my topper is popped up with the Happy Christmas from my stash, some snowflakes and stars from my stash. This is a little A6 one, and once again I've put the gems on top of the card. This is a Sue Wilson die, and the oval is a tonic die. This is flat onto my oval, and then they're both popped up. I've added a little white piece in the middle so that my topper stands out, and it is on foam tape. And the Winter Blessings is from my kit. It's actually from Crafter's Companion. This is a side strip, and this time I've added a lilac colour of card from my stash. I've run gems across the top, added a little topper here and a bow, and that is it. That's my slimline. This is my A5. I've used the same lilac card for my stash. I followed the line of the kit card with purple gems. This is the little Sweet Dixie. Added my sentiment, popped them both up. Then again I've used that lilac kind of arch dies that I got, and it is on foam tape. Then this frame is on foam tape too, and then my topper is flat. And finally I had this little snow or sentiment left, and this is a piece of card from the kit, and the red and silver and white is from my stash, and I've popped it on that little Alina Cuttle die. And this silver is a snowflake die from my stash, as is this. This silver is flat onto this one, which is popped up. Then the red is flat onto the silver, and the sentiment is popped up. And I've added some snowflakes from my stash. And that's it. I hope you liked it. I hope you come back for some more. I have TJ at home now, and it's not as easy to make videos, so I will do what I can. But I hope you're all safe and well, and until the next time. Jackie out. Forgot to show you, I have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dies, and all I had left was the cardstock from the kit. So I've added a Sue Wilson piece die that is triple layered and the gems, and I think that's a great way to use up a bit of card. I've added Crafter's Companion edge die on top of this pattern card, and my little sentiment, my green gems, and my holly. This is a tonic oak edge die, and I have no idea where I got this little die from, but it's a little mice, so I've added them flat onto my red card and then popped that up. I followed the line with the gems and added a popped up sentiment from my stash. This is the same die, except I've made a 5x7, whereas this one was A6, and this was the bit I had left over, so I put my edge die on top, added some gold glitter card, a strip with some gold gems, and this sentiment that was left over from some of the other ones, and some gems from my stash. So these are all made with extra card that I had from the leftover from making all the other cards. I've added it in some gold card. This is a Sweet Dixie die. This is a tattered lace stitch circle, and I've no idea where I got the Bah Humbug from, but I've added it, and then gems to replicate the line. That one was slimline, as is this one, only this one is landscape. I've added my blue gems on each side and followed the line that was there in the card. My believe is cut out 3 times, and it's from Sue Wilson, and then stuck flat onto the piece of gold card, which is flat onto my frame die that I got off Amazon, and then it's popped up. And finally an A5 card, and I had this card, this was a large piece left over, so I used some silver from my stash. This is the tattered lace oval die that I use a lot. This is another tattered lace stitch oval, and I've no idea where I got this sentiment from, but it's cut out 3 times. My gems are following the pattern, and my stars to accent, and that is it. Till the next time, Jackie out.